When the coronavirus pandemic was at its peak, and the world under a lockdown, our skies started to turn clearer. Clear enough to see things that otherwise escape our eyes, due to the fog of light pollution. During that time, New Yorkers reported nearly twice as many mysterious sightings than usual. Sightings of unidentified objects in that year nearly doubled in NYC, from the previous year to about 300. Nationwide, 7,200 reported UFO sightings were claimed in 2020 alone. This resulted in more people scanning the night skies, not only because people had the time, but also because it was the same year that the US Navy was forced to release 3 videos of unidentified aerial phenomenon, after one of the many footage leaking online. Following that, the internet saw a major spike in UFO-related keywords, and a revival of interest in short green men with big head and bulging eyes was only inevitable. But no one can guarantee what these objects are, and if they remotely associate with extraterrestrial technology. Yes, despite several claims of alien sightings, no one has the proof of ever coming face-to-face with an ET. Some believe that they are present amongst us, camouflaged, carrying out their tasks every day. Some believe that we are alone in the vastness of space, and aliens are as real as fairy tales. Whom do you side with? The believers or the skeptics? What if I told you that the Pentagon believes? Welcome to Lab 360, it's time to explore. There is a possibility that extraterrestrial motherships and smaller probes may be visiting planets in our solar system. And this is not me saying it. It's the head of the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Research Office that noted in a report draft, shared in the beginning of March 2023. An artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth, an operational construct not too dissimilar from NASA missions, said Sean Kirkpatrick, director of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, in a research report co-authored by Abraham Loeb, chairman of Harvard University's Astronomy Department. Oh yes, Abby Loeb. Who doesn't know the famous Harvard scientist? He single-handedly changed the whole narrative of Oumuamua, and is the only notable scientist to have supported the possibility of the interstellar object being an alien space probe. Not just that, Loeb believes that there are several hundred Oumuamuas lurking in the solar system. Some hiding in the Kuiper belt, some at the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and maybe some hiding in our waters, as if lying dormant until receiving further instructions. Avi Loeb suggests that not only are there aliens in our galaxy, but there are actually 4 quintillion Oumuamuas speeding across our solar system. To be fair, Loeb isn't outright saying Oumuamua was an alien spacecraft per se, but he is saying we should be open to that possibility. In light of that outlook, he's basically asking what respectable scientists would never deign to. How many possible Oumuamuas could there be in our solar system that go unnoticed? Loeb and fellow Harvard astronomer Carson Ezell looked at how many interstellar visitors we've already spotted. One can use recent rates of detection of interstellar objects and known capabilities to estimate the density of similar objects in the solar neighborhood, the astronomers said. Since Oumuamua, there have been 3 more interstellar objects detected by astronomers, making it 4 in 8 years. At that rate, Loeb and Zeller calculated that there could be up to a staggering 40 decillion interstellar objects in the entire solar system, including areas beyond the reach of our instruments. That number is brought down to the more humble 4 quintillion figure, when limiting the scope to the habitable zone near the Sun, which is potentially exciting since, if some of them are aliens, they'd be easier to detect. Some of Loeb's theories are boundary pushing, but he never fails to raise some fascinating points. Even if the majority of 4 quintillion interstellar objects turn out to be bits of space rock, which Loeb admits is likely, that still leaves quite a bit of room for some of them to be alien spacecraft. But where are they? The first thing that comes to my mind is the Kuiper belt, a cold, dark, and distant space in the outer solar system. It's primarily made up of icy objects, dwarf planets, dust, and comets. So far, over 2,000 Kuiper belt objects have been catalogued. Researchers believe these are only a tiny fraction of the total number of objects scientists think are out there. But one thing that fascinated NASA in the Kuiper belt is the 15810 Iran. A quick Google search will tell you that Iran is a Kuiper belt object, a large rock that orbits round outside the orbit of Neptune. But, is it a rock? In April 2016, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft reached the Kuiper belt. After capturing its first target, Pluto, the probe turned its sight towards a large object on a strange trajectory. Yes, we are talking about 15810 Iran, named after the Celtic god of death, war, and the otherworld. Now, why is it so special, you ask? Well, most of the objects in the Kuiper belt are made of rock and ice. But Iran doesn't move like any of catalogued object in the belt. This has made scientists question if it is made of something completely different, something much stronger, because it's rotating so fast that centrifugal force should have torn it apart. How could something spin so fast and stay intact? Scientists believe that the fast spin is creating artificial gravity, and gravity would be the most vital thing needed for long interstellar travel. You cannot have astronauts floating around the spacecraft while traversing hundreds of light years. This probed the New Horizon to take a closer look at the object. And here is when things turn strange. As the probe tried to get a closer look, suddenly, all of its sensors went dead, transmissions cut off. It was as if someone was monitoring our presence, someone or something that did not want us to know about them. But just before losing contact, NASA observed that Iran was spinning like a large spaceship would. Now, you can say that it might have been a technical glitch, but here is when things get crazier. Only when New Horizon moved away from Iran, it suddenly came back to life as if nothing had ever happened in the first place. Now I would leave it to you to assume what it was, but if it's an intelligent alien civilization, it makes complete sense to stay far away from Earth and silently observe us from the cold and dark space in the Kuiper belt. And whenever the need arises for a closer inspection, hop onto a spacecraft and camouflage it, so that it appears as a mere space rock to the beings of the planet. In addition, Loeb also suggested in the past that Oumuamua could be a piece of alien space junk, a defunct sail craft that has accidentally found its way to us. Or, it may be an active reconnaissance craft, sent here to check out our solar system, he had written in the study. There are reasons to favor the latter explanation, Loeb said. For starters, Oumuamua's very discovery was something of an anomaly. Our own solar system doesn't shed so many Oumuamua-like objects. In addition, Oumuamua's motion is roughly coincident with the average motion of material in our patch of the Milky Way galaxy, a kinematic space known as the local standard of rest. Indeed, that's why the object's system of origin has been so hard to pin down. If I created an instrument whose identity I would like to hide, would put it at the local standard of rest, Loeb said. Astronomers have used the Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia, and the Allen Telescope Array in Northern California, to listen for any possible pings coming from Oumuamua. To date, the object has remained silent. What do you guys think? Do you think Avi Loeb has taken it too far this time? Or, is he way ahead in the game? And do you think that the Pentagon knows that we have already made contact? Drop in your comments to let us know, and don't forget to subscribe to Lab 360, because together, we will explore.